Part 3. The Smoke from the West. Morning came with a strange stillness. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. From the far western hills, Amina saw at first a thin black line crawling into the sky, rising higher with every heartbeat. Smoke. It grew thicker, darker, until it formed a cloud that swallowed the sun and turned the grasslands gray. She stood barefoot on red earth, the dry wind tugging at her headscarf. Behind her, the village of Nambua stirred. Goats bleating nervously, mothers calling for their children, the crackle of cooking fires slowing into uneasy silence. For generations, the people of Nambua had lived untouched by war. They bartered salt and millet with their neighbors, danced beneath the stars, and sang to the rhythm of rain and harvest. Their peace had always felt eternal, until this day. Amina's chest tightened. She remembered her father's face, how he had smiled when he left with the soldiers years ago, promising to return before the next rainy season. He never did. The same kind of smoke had filled the sky that day, too. Down by the river, Elder Kofi knelt in prayer, his hands trembling as he dipped his fingers into the water. When he saw the smoke, he rose slowly and struck his staff upon the ground. The other elders gathered, women with lines of wisdom on their faces, men who carried the scars of forgotten battles. They circled beneath the great baobab tree, its roots sprawling like veins of the soil, reaching deep into the sleeping heart of the earth. "We cannot run," said one. "The plains will swallow us." "We cannot fight," said another. "We have no guns, no shields." "Then we must awaken the one who can," said Kofi. Amina stepped forward, her voice trembling yet strong. The crowd stirred uneasily. Some crossed themselves. Others shook their heads. "A myth," one of the young men muttered. "A tale to frighten children." "No," Kofi said softly. "A promise." That afternoon, the village drums began to sound, not for celebration, but for calling. Women gathered around the baobab, beating the rhythm of the old songs, slow, heavy, echoing like thunder beneath the hills. Men struck spears into ground, chanting in unison. The children watched wide-eyed, clutching their mothers' cloths. The sound carried across the plains like a heartbeat calling something unseen. Amina walked to the center of the circle. Dust rose around her bare feet. Her eyes were closed, her palms pressed against the soil. She whispered the ancient prayer her grandmother had taught her. At first, there was only silence. Then the ground shivered. A tremor, faint but deep, like the stirring of something vast beneath the skin of the world. The baobab's roots shifted, groaning softly. The people gasped. Amina did not move. The tremor grew stronger, pulsing in rhythm with the drums. Dust spiraled upward, and a low hum filled the air, not sound, but vibration, as though the land itself was breathing. And then came a voice, not in words, but in feeling, a low, resonant wave that filled every chest, every heart. It said only one thing: "I hear you." The serpent Gara was awake. The villagers fell to their knees. The drums stopped. The air was alive with unseen energy, the hair on their arms rising with static. Elder Kofi's voice broke as he whispered, "It remembers us." From the west, thunder cracked, but it was not thunder. It was the sound of gunfire, distant yet drawing closer. The smoke on the horizon swelled, spreading like a devouring beast. The invaders were coming. Amina opened her eyes. Her tears glistened in the fading light. Beneath her hands, the ground pulsed again, this time stronger. She looked at Kofi, and he nodded. "The serpent waits for your call," he said. "My call. You felt it before anyone else. You are the voice it heard." Night descended like a curtain of fire. The setting sun turned clouds crimson, and the first stars blinked through the haze. In the distance, they could see the flickering lights of burning villages. Amina stood beneath the great baobab, wind whipping her scarf, smoke curling in the horizon. Behind her, the entire village watched, silent and trembling. Beneath her, the guardian stirred. The earth began to hum again, a deep, ancient sound, like a drumbeat from the core of the world. The acacia leaves trembled, animals bolted into the dark, and a streak of lightning carved through the clouds. Something was coming. Whether it was salvation or ruin, No one could yet tell, but all of Nambua knew by dawn the serpent would rise,